What's good, y'all? It's your boy Need for She coming back with another episode of my podcast. I'm just reminiscing. And today I got a really special guest on with me today. I have my sister since we were kids. I'm talking about little kids. I got her on today, Miss Kellye. Miss Kellye, say what's up to the people for me.
Hello, everyone. How are you all?
As you can see, we both be busy and everything like that, but eventually we was able to make this thing work, and I'm just happy she was able to come on and talk with me and spend some time talking about how it was for us growing up. And to some people out there, most of the time, most of the people that I've talked to on my past podcasts, on my past episodes, they've been my college friends. So I met a lot of them freshman year. So I ain't meet them 2013. This girl, on the other hand, I met in 2000 or 2001.
Like 2000. Yeah, we were like five.
Yeah, 2000, 2001. So I met her at a very young age. So this episode is going to be really us reliving everything that we
Oh,
done growing up from
right.
her perspective. Right.
Yeah.
Y'all heard mine, but this is going to be different because I want to know what she was thinking a lot of times while we was growing up. So with that being said, how was life for Kellye growing up?
Well, as a kid, like those are like probably some of the best times I've had like throughout my life. Like my childhood was like really fun and things. Like, you and I met, we were like five and we also stayed right by each other. Like literally we could jump each other's like fence and be in, each other's backyard and stuff, like going in to elementary school, Cromwell and stuff. But like growing up for me, it was really fun as a kid. I had one older brother, which our brothers, well, your brothers and my brother, they were cool and stuff, played sports and stuff throughout like the neighborhood and in school. But yeah, growing up was like super fun for me as a kid. Like just I don't know, it was just like I had like a great time like growing up as a kid. Like I was blessed to have like, great parents, great family and friends growing up from all throughout my life, but just experiencing childhood as a kid and actually being able to be a kid was like and is a blessing. So I had a great childhood as growing up as a kid.
Yeah, we both got the same thing in common. We are the youngest of the family.
Yeah.
So never understood what it was like to be the older brother or the older sister. So we have our own perspective on how things should go. But
Yeah.
like always, we find a way to adapt. But the way my brothers were and what your brother is, they kept they kept us they kept us intact. So I can appreciate them for a
Yeah.
lot of
'Cause,
stuff.
like my brother and I, we are 7 years apart. So when I was in like fifth grade, he was a senior in high school. So apparently he thought he was my dad. But so my brother, yeah, we were 7 years apart and everything, and I'm the youngest. I was the only girl, and I was spoiled too. So I mean, I love being the baby. Like I've never wanted to be like the oldest or having like an older. Like, well, I never wanted to be the oldest. I did want a sister growing up. Like, I don't think I always thought it'd be cool to have like a big sister and like we could like
Yeah,
relate more, like with girls and stuff. But then, of course, I got over that. But as I got older, and then like my friends had younger siblings and stuff, I was like, oh, that's like cool to see like your younger sister or brother graduate from like high school, college, going to prom and stuff like that. So I kind of like when I say older, I mean like when I'm in like college type older.
yeah.
Like I like, man, it'd be kind of cool to have a younger sibling. But being the baby of the family and being the girl, the only girl, the baby, the youngest out of two, I was cool with that growing up. So, but did you ever want like a sister because you had our brothers or anything? Or
My mom wanted a daughter. I know for a fact she told us that she wanted a daughter, and we was like, "You don't want to bring no daughter in here. Trust me, you don't want to bring no little girl in here with us three." I was like, "You don't want to do that because one, she gonna be corrupt like us. Two, mom, we know how you are. You want us to go out here and do this with her? Nah,
that's so
yep." And
I've been real protective of her too, because
yes,
my brother was and is still to this day like protective
yes.
of
And
like
especially with me and Mike being younger in age, like Sherrod is the way it's set up. Mike is 2.5. It comes out to 3 years, but it's really like 2.5 years older. And Sherrod is like 5.5 years older because, well, no, Sherrod's 6 years older. And Mike is 3, but it's kind of worded out because Mike's birthday late. So Mike is 28, Sherrod is 31. and I'm 25.
See,
So
your brother and my brother, your oldest brother and my brother. My brother is 32. He's 31. So they grew up together too, like with in
yeah.
school and stuff, and going to Cromwell with them middle and high school too. So yeah, they were like right there in age.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother
Oh
like
yeah, but my brother didn't go to Woodell. That's crazy. He didn't go to Woodell High.
yeah, he didn't go to Woodell High, but I mean, I guess still because like the neighborhood
Yeah,
stuff.
the neighborhood we play ball every day, every other day we playing basketball.
Yeah, so that was probably how it was too. But yeah,
You talking about some of the uh fun basketball playing basketball in my backyard was like the NBA finals.
like I remember my brother used to always go over there and play basketball with you all, and then sometimes y'all came to my house too because we had to go and stuff too. But
Yeah.
it was like fun. But I mean, I wasn't into basketball. Like that wasn't my thing. Like I remember growing up, like my dad and my brother wanted me to play because too I got like a little height on me, but that
Yeah.
never was my thing. Like I can shoot, I can dribble and all that, but I want basketball wasn't my thing.
And
But
we
I could do a little something, you know.
right.
But it wasn't nothing for me to be on it. I was cheer, dance, gymnastics. That was me. From like kid, Cromwell, I did the cheer and dance stuff there with them in high school too. So that was me. I wasn't a basketball girl. I watch sports. I love sports,
Yeah.
but
The only
because I
sport
feel
we
like
didn't
sports
play
are
was
my
the only sport we didn't play was really like that was baseball. We did everything else but baseball. That was about it.
yeah. And even some people too I know went to school that they did like tennis and stuff.
Yep.
If you remember what's Mr. Ransford was like
Yes, I remember Miss Ransford.
we did pretty good in that too.
Oh,
And speaking of schools, been pretty good. I love Woodell High School. I love Woodell Middle, and I love Cromwell. Like I wouldn't want to change the schools that I went to. Like I love my schools, regardless of what people have to say. And Woodell has some great, successful men and women that graduated from that school, including us, that went off to do great things and still doing great things. So shout out to Woodell, regardless of what people say.
yeah.
Like that's my school. I rep it. Everybody like, what school you went to? What high school? I went to Woodell High School, Memphis schools. Because at the time it was Memphis City Schools, but they changed it to Shelby County. But yeah, because we were the last class to graduate too under Memphis City Schools.
I believe so.
2013.
It was either us or the year after
So
us.
I know it was. I know it was. Cause I remember they kept saying it at graduation because it's on like diplomas and stuff. Like we were the last class to graduate under Memphis City Schools, which I was glad to be that because I didn't want to be merged with Shelby County anyways. But yeah, like Woodell was a great school. Even with academics, like we all did optional and honors and AP, like in high school
Yeah,
and
no,
middle
y'all
school.
did AP.
I had Miss Hope for honors. I
I
had
did
AP
too.
art, Mr.
She tried
Aiden.
to play me. She tried to play me and put me in AP them first couple of weeks. I don't know why.
AP.
She tried to play me.
I didn't want to do AP English.
I got out of that class so quick.
Well, we didn't have a choice to do honors because we were in the optional program, so you had to do honors.
Yeah, Miss Kyle. I remember I told Miss Kyle that I had I was like, Miss Kyle, this AP ain't finna work. I was like, he was like, all right, Miss Wilkins, this is what I do for you. I can drop you, but I can only drop you down to honors. I said, that's fine. That's why I wanted to be in. I ain't trying to do this AP. It's 6 people in there and they finna struggle.
But Miss Hope was and is a great teacher. Like, and she was super cool and sweet and everything. Like after school, you remember, like we used to go to her class because she had like the tutoring thing. But we would go in there and just do our homework and like talk like right before
Right.
like you
And she would help us.
Practice and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Miss Hope. Shout out to Miss Hope. That was one of my favorite teachers.
And she used to she made us write on the newspaper. But when I look back at it, I was like, that was actually pretty cool writing on the newspaper.
Yeah, I enjoyed writing with the newspaper on newspaper staff, being like an editor and stuff. That was like super cool and fun. Because it's cool to like highlight people in the school, like when the kids and stuff doing like good and work, sports and everything like that. Because like I said, Woodell had a lot to offer. We had the only aviation program too. Like when it came to like all of that in Mississippi schools, I'm not mistaken. Like we had like some.
We had one of the best. We had one of the best. Not the only. We had one of the best aviation. Mr. Holmes and what's his name? He was
Mr. Sherlock.
Mr. Sheller. Yeah, him. The one he was arrogant, but is what it is. Man, that man, he was a smart aleck.
See,
I
think Mr. Sherlock. No, I had Mr. Holmes.
I had Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, Sherlock was with the glasses, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had Holmes. I didn't have Sherlock.
Yeah, I had Mr. Holmes. Then I had the what's not. Then I had Miss Shipman. Oh Lord.
Yeah, with what was it, Deca?
Yeah, Deca. Now Deca was cool. I mean, Deca was fun the year that we went, but other than that, what it is.
Like all the programs and like after school curricular activities and clubs and stuff that we did have was fun. And I also think like it still was helpful and beneficial like in life because like going into college, I mean I did the same stuff, was very involved, heavily active and stuff.
Yeah.
And but I always was like wanted to be involved and do community service and like stuff and like I don't know, I just feel like that just fun. That was just part of me. So of course like when I went to college started getting
We done
active.
we done skipped all the way through. Hold on, let me roll back to elementary school. Hold on, we done skipped. We done went to high school, college. We done come back.
College.
Let me do this again. Oh, how many did we stay in the same class in elementary school? Was we always in the same class?
We had Miss Houston together, which was KKO2. Because I remember all my like call numbers. So KKO2 was Miss Houston.
Yeah.
First grade, I had Miss Wooden, 101.
I had Miss Houston and Miss Burrow. I had Miss Houston and Miss Burrow my kindergarten.
Did you switch out or something like that?
I switched out. I was in Houston first and went to Miss Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Then I had Miss Berry, first grade. I had Miss Berry.
I had Miss Wooden. That was 101. Second grade, I had Miss McGee. I think we was in second grade.
We was in
grade together.
Third grade, I had Miss Doyle.
And I had Miss Douglas.
Yeah. Fourth grade, I had Miss Ferris. We had Miss Ferris.
Too. We had Miss Ferris together.
And then fifth grade, I had Miss Armstrong. I had Miss Armstrong my fifth grade year.
Fifth grade, I had Miss Fagan.
Miss Fagan. Yep, Miss Fagan. It was Miss Fagan.
I love Miss Ferris, my fourth grade teacher.
Miss Ferris was the best. Miss Ferris was the best. Oh, and what's the name? The librarian, Miss Cleves. Miss Cleves.
I remember Wait.
Miss Cleves.
I do remember Miss Cleves. And Mr. Hightower. I love Mr. Hightower.
Mr. Hightower. Then we had Miss what's the name? Oh, I remember she when we did Seg Me, Miss Payne. What was it, Miss? It was Miss Payne.
Yeah, I remember Miss Payne. Yeah.
And then
Miss Payne did not play.
She did not. Miss Payne kept it 100. And Miss Johnson was the third grade teacher. Miss Johnson.
Miss Johnson didn't play either.
Then you had Mr. Jordan and Miss Dumas.
Yeah. I think she got married and became Miss Smith.
Miss Smith, she changed her name to something. And then who was that? Miss Fleming was the
assistant principal.
Miss Fleming, now she was mean.
Cougar Paws.
Yeah, no, Miss Fleming was mean.
I like Miss Fleming. She was nice.
Miss Fleming was mean. The nicest one out of all of them to me was Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, Mr. Jordan was super nice.
Yeah.
It was crazy because that was my brother principal too, and he was like, me and my brother were like totally opposite. He was like, because my brother just stayed getting in trouble and stuff. I mean, if I got in trouble, it was because I was talking or something, because I talked a lot. But my brother used to be all types of.
That was with me too. I was like, all my trouble came into talking. Yeah, because my grades was all A's. The work was
good. That's sometimes my conduct and.
The work was easy. The work was easy.
Yeah, work was super easy.
I could have skipped a grade. My mom told me not to.
We did Clue, remember?
I hated going to Clue. I loved it.
Going to Clue. Did we leave? Was it Colonial we went to?
I don't know what school we went to. Was it Foxmouth?
No, it was Snowden.
I don't remember what school we went to.
I think it was either Colonial or Snowden that we went to for Clue.
Because it was Danielle. I remember I used to go with Danielle all the time.
Yep.
I hated it because I used to love kicking it with my friends. And I used to hate when she come in. Yeah, I hated doing that. But then when I got there, I was like, okay, this cool. Yeah. But Mr. Hightower, Miss, I remember all of them.
No, Miss Applewhite, I meant.
Miss Applewhite.
Yeah. She was cool too.
She ran the safety patrol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were on safety patrol too. I forgot we had a little vest and a
little. I don't think we doing something. We ain't doing nothing but moving the cone.
Something. And it was funny too, because like if someone was running in the hallway, you'd be like, oh, they're running, and they had to eat lunch by like individually and off to the side away from their class and stuff. I
remember when Mr. Jordan used to threaten us on quiet time. If you talk, you gotta eat this bowl of spinach. Now he made us do. He did that like one time. You couldn't hear nobody talking. Then nobody want to eat no spinach.
I still love spinach. Like I love spinach. Bro.
I like spinach as I got older. At that time, I hated it.
I loved spinach then.
Nah, I hated it.
Like what is it? Spinach dip and stuff. As a kid, I used to love that.
Yeah, I hated spinach. And then But then that was school spinach. I was like, nobody want to eat that.
It wasn't the same as my mama's or my grandma's.
Right. So I was like, this was gonna be bland and nasty. I ain't trying to eat that. But the school food I did eat. I did eventually. We used to bring our lunch to school, but I think my 4th grade year, I started buying. When Mike went to middle school and Sherrod was in high school and they was buying their lunch, my mom, she came up to me and she was just like, you want to buy your lunch? I was like, cool. So she started giving me money.
When we were younger, like our parents, my parents would prepay for my lunch or whatever. So they would like pay for the week and then have extra money for me to like purchase snacks. Like I remember that popcorn, the
Y'all
yellow
popcorn, the cheddar popcorn and the butter popcorn.
Cookies to be $5.
The butter cookies? What?
I love butter cookies and chocolate chip ones too.
Them butter cookies.
Do you remember the lunch? The little potatoes that had the smiley face in them.
Yeah.
I love those little fries. They were so good.
We had. I was like, when I talked to people and I told them that's what we had, they was like, y'all had popcorn. I was like, man, that popcorn was good.
And we were able to purchase ice cream and stuff too.
Yeah, and I love the little mini made freezers that we had. It was some good stuff.
You know, I actually had some of those last year. I found them at the store and I had the box of them. Now I tore those up, especially the red and purple ones. The orange, I mean, it's not nasty, but it wasn't my favorite.
But y'all know the grape John is legendary. That grape one is
grape and fruit punch, they're fine.
Yes, I loved it, man. And then they used to give us the square pieces. I used to just eat. As boys, we knew we was going to recess, so we just ate just because. But it was cool. The teachers, everything in elementary school, it was cool. We had small fights, big fights. It was what you expect at elementary school, even when we had folks that were supposed to be in middle school still in elementary school.
I don't remember that, Rashid. Who was in elementary school supposed to be in middle?
You remember the Terriers?
Like, don't say no names.
Man, it don't matter. You act like these folks in the view.
You can't do that. You gonna bust them out like this.
I don't care. The Terriers. The Terriers are cool though. You remember David? You remember David? Big David was like, he was like in the 4th grade. He was in 4th grade. He was like 11 or 12. He was like 12, 11. I remember Idrell, Unray.
It's crazy because Idrell and Unray, I remember the name, but I can't remember the face.
Them folks was older. And I was just like, bruh, Ricky was in that grade.
I remember Ricky, and I remember his brothers and his sister.
I forget. I don't remember none of them.
I remember all of them.
Yeah, I remember all of it. It was Ashley and them. I remember a lot of folks.
I remember Ashley too.
I remember my boy was what's his name? Started with a K. Kwame, not Kwame.
No, don't tell me.
Keyone.
I remember him because he was in Miss McGee class with us, 2nd grade.
That was my guy, Isaiah. Keyone, Isaiah, Devin.
Devin Holden.
Well, yeah, Devin really my guy. And Wilson, Devon, Devin. It was another 3 kill.
Yeah, I remember him too.
It was. I remember
like all these people, like some of them, like you name, I still like I follow on social media and stuff, so like they're doing good. But everyone else, I hope everyone is doing well and everything.
Man, cause I met a lot. I still follow Kiasha. I still follow her.
I don't
remember. Who's the other one? Kellye. I remember I started following Kellye again.
I still follow her.
It was like, bruh, and I still follow Angel.
That's my girl. What was that? We actually talked like not too long ago. We were messaging each other on Instagram.
Did she already have a baby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had a little boy. He's so cute. Yeah, so she's doing really good.
I was like, if I could get all y'all back on this show, I was like, because if I could tell the stories of what y'all was like in elementary school, it was like, boy.
Crazy. It was so crazy because I remember in Gia, like, because now like she's very successful like in the hair industry and everything with hair and stuff. And I remember like in 4th grade, she posted something and I was like, it's so crazy because I remember in 4th grade like you literally would braid our hair because like we were in the hair class outside and G would like literally braid hair. Like I remember she braided my hair, she braided Carla's hair, she did like 2 French braids and everything.
And we just got to playing games, just chilling. Y'all be over there, she doing hair. We just like, who knew?
She was in 4th grade like doing it like so like she like And Judy, that's my girl. She'll go. Cause like
And
she been
yeah,
doing hair for a long time. Like in fourth grade, real deal braiding. Like for real, for real.
yes, it was.
That was one of my best friends in elementary school. Her and Kiana.
Which Kiana?
Kiana Wilson.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, I remember. I remember like this. I remember Mariah. I remember this girl named Mariah. I remember Lenore doing her own thing. Whew, it was so many people. I was like, I remember Derek was my road dog for real.
And then a crazy thing too is like as we gotten older, like okay, so like we in elementary school and stuff, and moving to like middle school, like a lot of people like they went to other schools, they transferred and went to like maybe Ridgeway, Southwind, Germantown,
American
Sheffield, like
Way, they went everywhere.
like I feel like a good, even though this like the percentage I'm about to quote is like totally wrong, but over 70% of everyone like I interacted with or like known like throughout like my school years or whatever, they went to Cromwell, Wooddale Middle, or Wooddale High School, like partially at Wooddale High School and left. So it's crazy because like when I got to college, like I met people that went to like, Whitehaven and Ridge, like everywhere else. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, I know such and such. Like, how you know? I'm like, because they went to Wooddale or because they went to Cromwell. I'm like, no, they did. I'm like, yes, they did. And it's crazy because I feel like everyone, like, I don't know, like Memphis is like a big, like, one of the bigger cities in the state of Tennessee, but it's really small when it comes to like the schools and stuff.
Extremely small.
Because it's like I know so many people that go to other schools. Then I met their friends in college. And like, oh, that's crazy. How do you know them? I'm like, yeah, they went to elementary, middle, or high school with me.
I was like, then I had folks that came when I got to middle school or in high school. It was like had folks that I met from American Way when Wooddale and American Way was because when it was in elementary school, all folks when I ended up meeting in middle and elementary school, they went to we was Cromwell, Getwell, Goodlett, Newberry, Fox Meadows.
Was it Night Road?
Night Road.
Is that school called Night Road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Night Road, Ross, and it was something else. It was another one where I just like, yeah, they all of them from this surrounding school. And most of us, we either went to Wooddale, Ridgeway, Hickory Ridge, Colonial, or American Way. Those.
Why I said Sheffield, I meant American Way.
American Way, yeah. That's where everything
American Way kids, a lot of American Way kids, they split. They either went to Wooddale or Sheffield. And then they end up transferring from Sheffield, coming to Wooddale, and Wooddale going to Sheffield, and vice versa. Because I feel like Wooddale and Sheffield were always like transferring students back and forth.
I feel like Wooddale, Sheffield, Kirby. Those three schools, they just rotated. Yeah. Whichever one you wanted to go to.
I went to Wooddale. I didn't want to go to Kirby or no Sheffield.
Those two I never want to go to. I almost didn't go to Wooddale High.
I almost didn't go to Wooddale Middle because originally Miss Fagan, she was pushing for me to go to Colonial, and so by the optional program, you had to apply for optional going from elementary to middle school, and your teacher like recommended you whatever. So I got accepted into Colonial on the second week of middle school. However, I already made the cheer team at Wooddale Middle. And I didn't want to leave. My mom, when they called and told mom I got accepted or whatever, my mom was like, she already made the cheer team at Wooddale Middle, so she loved it there, so I would stay. So I probably would have got that call like more so a few weeks before school. Yeah. I would probably I would have been at Colonial. However, I think if I'm not mistaken, I want to say cheer tryouts were held like at the end of my 5th grade year, so my parents had to take me to the middle school to try out for cheer. Yeah. So I wouldn't have went to Colonial, but my mom, when they called, she was like, glad she got accepted, but she's gonna stay where she is. She's an optional program there. She already made the cheer team, and so I'm not gonna pull her. And I didn't want to leave at that point anyways, because if I would have left Wooddale and went to Colonial, they already had their cheer team established, and I wouldn't have been on it. So I'm glad.
Yeah, all of us already knew each other. Most of us when we got to Wooddale. Did we go on a lot of the same field trips in elementary school? Did we go on a lot of the same field trips? Because we've been there everywhere in Memphis.
I remember going on field trips in elementary school, but I can't just think of like think of one right off the top of my head, except for in kindergarten. I remember we were supposed to go to the zoo, and the field trip happened, but I got sick, and my parents paid for my trip or whatever. And I remember Miss Houston tried to give us a refund, but my parents was like, let another child who may not, paid or didn't have the money to go in my place. I was sad as hell. I really wanted to go to the zoo. My dad was like, you can't. I couldn't go. I had a cold, so I couldn't go. But that was one trip that I just remember, even though I didn't go, but I remember my circumstance that I was so sad that I had a cold and I couldn't go. Right. But other than that, we went on a lot of field trips, but I just can't think of them like right now off the top of my head. Like, where to go.
I know I didn't go to. I don't remember going to Graceland until high school.
I don't remember going to Graceland in high school.
I went to Graceland.
We never went to Graceland in elementary school or middle school either.
I know I remember going to high school. We went there.
Did we go to the National Civil Rights Museum?
Yes. Now that one, I feel like I went in elementary, middle, and high school. I went to the Civil Rights Museum.
I remember going to those on the field trip.
I remember going to the Stacks Museum, but I think that was in high school.
That was 12th grade.
Yeah, I remember going to the Stacks Museum.
Because the Stacks Museum was after we got inducted into the National English Honor Society, because we were in both Honor Society and English Honor Society, but it was the next day after, and I had the flu. And I remember that morning, because I had the flu and didn't know, because I remember when we got inducted into the English Honor Society, we went out to eat at Chili's, and Miss Hope was like, she was like, Kellye, she was like, why you like, you're quiet, are you feeling well? I was like, oh, I'm okay. She was like, you're burning up. But I was like, I'm fine or whatever. So I went to school the next day, like that night I took some medicine or whatever. And I ended up taking NyQuil in the daytime. And I don't even think I can't remember. I feel like I took, maybe it was NyQuil. I don't know. I took something and I just kept like going to sleep and stuff. And Dominique and I were sitting on a bus together or whatever. And I remember I like passed out on a field trip. Like I literally like just fell back. Like I felt like super bad, like or whatever. So like the next day I went to the doctor and the doctor told me I had strep throat and flu. And that was 12th grade. And we went to Stacks and I remember that clear as day. Just because I had the flu and didn't know. And I remember I came back, I told her, I texted him or called him or whatever, I was like, I had the flu. He was like, oh, you got me sick, I feel bad. And I was like, well, ain't nothing wrong with you, you just saying that. But I remember that field trip just based off the flu story.
I remember, man, elementary, I remember field day was
Mayday, yep. I used to love it.
Mayday was the best. Mayday.
Buying all those tickets and buying those snacks. I used to get the pickles with and put my hot Cheetos in.
Man, they hustled us. They was hustling us with them tickets.
My money. Because I'm talking about, and then I remember too, because at that age, I still wanted my parents to like, go and like I wanted my parents to come to like field day, Mayday, whatever, and they used to be there. So my mom and dad used to be dropping out their little money, and stuff.
My mama was sending me and Mike with $40 a piece, and I was like, "This $40, this y'all tickets. Y'all do what y'all want with them, but y'all get 40."
It used to be like 25 cents for a Snicker. You get them like one ticket because a ticket was like a quarter was a ticket or something like that.
Yeah, so it was like they really hustled us. Then they still try to feed us lunch, some sack lunches.
I used to like the little sack lunch that had the little boxes, the little, the
little
milk
box, yeah.
Yeah, with the little apple and the slider outside on the little box. It used to be cute.
I remember the sock hops. The sock hops just.
I used to win all the dance contests. I used to be hitting the chicken head and everything. I swear, Mr. Hightower and Miss York and Miss Miller and them and Miss, I think her name was Miss House too. I used to win all the. Man, I used to be killing the folks. Chicken head, pancake, heel toe. Man,
it was heel toe, pancake. It was everything. Chicken head, everything was going on.
Right. That was elementary. That was a good time.
And what else would happen? I mean, I remember that's when bucking and juking and everything was big back then.
Yeah.
So I remember that. I met a different variety of teachers. Met a whole bunch of different teachers.
Where to my middle school, going into middle school?
Even elementary school, it was like every year I was like, none of my teachers are the same. Every last one of them was always different. I love my favorite teachers was probably, kindergarten, you can't beat Miss Houston and Miss Burrow. They were just.
I love Miss Houston.
They was just great.
I feel like I had really great teachers growing up in elementary school. Like I loved all my elementary school.
I think Miss Armstrong was the hardest on me. Miss Armstrong
was the hardest on me.
Yeah.
Miss Hagen did not play. We couldn't do nothing. We could not. She did not play. We couldn't do anything.
Miss Fagan and Miss Larry. Oh no, y'all wouldn't do.
They were next door to each other.
They was
We couldn't
mean.
go outside. We couldn't do anything with Miss Fagan. She did not play. Like she wanted us to be like perfect angels.
Right.
You know, like, we did go outside. It was rare.
It was like crossing from the hood to the
superior. Like she was like the best fifth grade class. Cause we were the best fifth grade class, but I'm just saying she was like a little.
She wanted. That was like crossing from the suburbs to the hood, because over there where you and Miss Fagan, Miss Larry, that's suburbs. Over here where Miss Lofton and Miss Armstrong was at, we was the hood. We didn't care because we did our work, but we also had all the hood folks.
Miss Larry, Miss Armstrong classes always get in trouble.
Yes, we did. We had all the athletes, so every time y'all did come outside, we would kick the boys in sports. We kicked their ass because they ain't had nobody over there. And two, all the fights happened with our classes.
Yep. Because those classes had a lot of boys in them too.
Yes. I remember, I think it was me.
It wasn't balanced. Because normally they try to balance it out, have an even like girls and boys or whatever. Like Miss Larry and Miss Lofton classes always had, and Miss Armstrong classes always had like a lot of boys in their classroom. I remember that. I don't remember who, but I just remember how it was.
I think it was me. Xavier, Derek, Edrell, David, Rick. It was like we was deep in that class. We were so deep.
Alex too.
Huh?
I don't remember Alex's last name, but I remember
Johnson. So yeah, that was because his brother name was Adrakius. Adrakius. What was it? And his last name was different from his. They were just brothers. Yeah. We got a lot, and then all the fights happened in the library. Most of the fights happened in the library.
I feel like all of them happened outside on that little snake thing.
And I remember all my classes, it was a fight because Justin, my boy Justin Granberry, he got him and David. I remember him and David got a fight. I remember Derek was getting a fight one time. I remember I got to fight him twice in elementary school. I got to fight him with Alex.
Yeah, I remember you and Alex clear as day.
And I got to fight with Anthony. And in third grade in Miss Doyle class, I got to fight with Anthony. It was me. Anthony was in that class. It was a boy named Anthony Tyrone Brown. Tyrone Brown. He was in the class with us. But
I remember the name, don't remember the face.
Yeah, I got to fight with him in the class.
I have like every yearbook from middle school all the way to high school, but I don't have a yearbook from elementary school. I wish I had one.
I just got the school pictures. That's all I got.
Yeah, so if you weren't in my class, then.
Yeah. But then we had, so I got to fight him twice in elementary school. And those were the 2 times I got to fight him. Got to fight with Alex. I remember, because that's the thing, Mr. Jordan, them, they knew my mama and them. So they was like, they wouldn't suspend me. They would be like, all right, I could suspend you, I could call your mama. I was like, shit, you might well suspend me. But I was like, I remember I got to fight with Alex on my mama's birthday.
Terrible.
Oh, I heard her through the phone when she was talking to Miss Ferris.
Yeah, that was 4th grade with Alex.
Yeah, we got to fight outside. Cause I had my boy. I was with Christian, my boy Christian, and then Dalton.
Yeah, I know Dalton.
I still talk to. I still follow Dalton.
Him and Justin.
Yeah, and Justin, and then so I follow some of them, and then boy, elementary school. It was fun though. Those 6 years in elementary school was.
Elementary school for 6 years?
Kindergarten.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I was looking like, hey, Rasheed, what are you talking about?
Yeah, kindergarten.
That is 6 years.
Yeah, those 6 years. Looking back and I was like, Mom, y'all should just let me and Mike skip our grade. Cause I could have skipped. It was either skipping. I could have either skipped 1st grade or 2nd grade. I forgot which one.
I had a couple opportunities to do that, but I didn't want to. My mom and dad didn't want me to anyway. I wanted to stay with my class. Like even in high school, like graduating early, I could have did that, but I didn't want to. Yeah,
I just wanted to do it in elementary school. When it got to high school and it was a chance for me to grad, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that one. I don't want to do that. Plus, I ain't like they was boring to me. So I didn't want to graduate with them anyway. They were boring. So as y'all can see, me and her, We already met each other like at 5. We met each other. It's been 20 years since we been knowing each other. Been 20 years,
Crazy.
and
Talk about
still talk to each other, and like, and ain't no high and bad stuff. We talk to each other.
long. If like we don't talk for a while, then we end up talking to be like a long time. We'll talk for a while.
Oh, you got to catch up, man. You got to keep up with the people that mean the most to you. You got to keep up with them. Hey, man, it is what it is. Elementary school, then we get to middle school. Middle school, go to, and we stayed in the neighborhood school. So we went straight from Cromwell, went down the street to Wooddale.
Literally,
Wooddale Middle.
that was literally about a 1 to 2 minute drive, if that.
If
So,
that.
like there.
But it was a death trap trying to come across Clearbrook. Them folks would run that light all the time coming across Clearbrook.
Rifling the kids outside.
Yes.
But I never, crazy, as close as I stayed, I walked home once at my entire like time. But that was like in high school. Well, we get to high school now. I talk about that. But it was because I wanted to walk home. Aisha and I were like, come on. She was like, let's walk on to your house. And that was the longest walk of my life. But anyways.
Walking up that hill was real. That stuff, man. And I used to walk home, and I was like, bro, that 20-minute walk and stuff like that, that stuff used to.
It's close when you're driving, but when you're walking, it's not. That's long.
It take me 20 minutes. It would take me 20 minutes easily to get home. Walking, driving, you 3 minutes, you there and gone. Yeah. Walking, and then you gotta walk up the hill. Cause me and Roderick used to walk home.
I remember him too.
Me and Roger used to walk home all the time. And then when I get to middle school, that's when I met Alex. And then Alex was down across the street from me.
Oh yeah, I do know him. I forgot him.
Yeah, Alex, he moved across the street. Then we get to middle school, and then that's when I met Fasha again, because I remember Fasha in elementary school. Then get to middle school, and I was like, I remember she was talking to Brittany, and I was looking at her. I was like, I know this girl. I remember this girl from somewhere. And then I asked Brittany, I was like, she was like, you remember that's Fasha? I was like, makes sense.
A lot of people, I think, a lot of people went to Cromwell and then went to Wooddale Middle, and then some people left Cromwell but then came back to Wooddale Middle.
You're right. I saw that.
I had fun in middle school too. Like in middle school, we had so many teachers. But like when we were on 7A Green, we basically had the same teachers for the same year. So it was like Miss Walker, Mr. Thompson, Miss Daly.
Walker had that old strength. Miss Walker.
I used to love 7A Green, but then I did want to be on one of the crunk teams because they used to be turned.
They used to be lit.
But we never. But being on like the optional team, the honors team, we never were in class because we had about 3 field trips a week. We used to go on so many field trips. At one point, I was like, I don't know, we still going on field trips. Like they were just sending us after school. And I had so many field trips.
Keep me out of class, please. Keep me out of class. 6th grade year, I can't lie. I remember talking with Bridget about this, man. 6th grade year, I said,
Were you on 6th grade too? Because I was on 6th grade.
Because had Miss Jackson for reading.
Yep. Miss Parker Bradley.
Mr. Shirley for science. Miss Parker Bradley, who
and Miss Jones for social studies. I love Miss Jones.
Miss Parker Bradley was Miss Parker Bradley to me was like Miss Payne in elementary school. She didn't play about nothing. And she had 4 kids, so you knew she wasn't playing about nothing. She got kids at home.
Miss Bass was English.
I love Miss Bass. I love Miss Bass. Miss Bass was my on that 6th grade team. Miss Bass was probably my favorite teacher.
I love Miss Bass, Miss Jones.
See, Miss Jones tried me a couple of times. That's why
Miss Jones. I love Miss Jones. I follow Miss Jones and Miss Bass too. I remember one time in Miss Jones' class, I got in trouble for talking, and then she told me I had to sit in the corner or whatever. And then I kept saying, "It's a spider over here," and she was like, she said something to me, and I was like, "If it bite me, I was gonna sue," and da da da. I was being real dramatic, but I love Miss Jones. Yeah,
I sat over there too, and she called my mama. I don't know. That was the time.
I mean, I guess talking is bad, but
right. I was like, I'm done with the schoolwork. I think I walked out the classroom because I know I did that in elementary school too. I walked out the classroom. Well, it was me and you was in the same Miss Ferris class. I walked out the classroom because I remember one time y'all was giving it to me. It was like 5 of y'all, and y'all couldn't let me. It was like I forgot what we was arguing about or something, and I was just like, bro, forget this. I got up and walked out, and I sat on the steps right there. And then I remember she said she called my mom, and my mom said she gonna come up there to the school and come get me.
What we do? What happened?
We was arguing about something. I don't know what we was arguing about, but I remember it was like back to back. I was like, bro, I'm tired of this. And I walked out and I came back in, and my mom said she was gonna be on the way to the school. So every time the portable door opened, everybody looked at me.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, I was like, man, bro, y'all gotta stop doing it. And I don't even know if I got in trouble for that. I remember I got in trouble one time because I didn't bring my progress report home.
Oh yeah, I did that. I remember in middle school, Mr. Thompson gave me a parent-teacher conference slip. I remember me and Aisha and I got one. And then Aisha's like, "Are you giving yours to your parent?" And I was like, "No." Matter of fact, I have that parent-teacher conference slip in my room. Like I should go get it. But no, like, cause I found it like one time I was at my parents' house, like cleaning up or whatever, and I always keep. I was like, I gotta show my kids this one day. But no, Mr. Thompson gave me a parent-teacher conference slip for like talking or whatever and saying being disruptive in the class. Probably was. I was, but whatever. And I used to like, show your parents. I was like, girl, no, because the only thing he gonna tell them that I was talking. I mean, I'm doing my work. I'm passing the class. He's gonna tell them I was talking. I do that. I don't care. So Aisha gave it to her parents, and Aisha mom went. And Aisha mom asked them. She was like, yeah, Aisha's talking in class. Da, da, da. She was like, by any chance, she's talking to Kellye Hayes. And they're like, oh, Miss So's like, oh yeah, Kellye Hayes, that's the one right there. Blah blah blah. So of course, by Aisha mom and my mom being close too, Aisha mama called my mama and told me. So one day, like the next day, I came home and I was like, Kellye, you had to tell us something. And I was like, no. And she was like, you got a parent-teacher conference slip and you didn't give it to us. I was like, yeah, it was for talking. I was like, it's not a big deal. I do my work. She said, well, you supposed to give it to us. And I was like, man, whatever. And she was like, girl, your mama snitched on me.
Man.
But
yeah, it was prior sport. I didn't bring it back or something like that. So I'm walking in the house thinking everything cool and everything like that. So usually my mom is home by the time I get home. So I walk into the door, I knock on the door, like, hey mom, what's up? She on the phone and she was like, did you get a progress report this week? I was like, shit. I was like, well, I already know how that's going. What this finna go to after we get this. Whoop, 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 whoop. I already knew how that was finna go. So it was.
They had that automatic system that would call your house and be like progress report and stuff. Or like if like your child is like, Kellye wasn't in class today, call the school, there's a mistake and da da da. So they were gonna find out.
Yeah, skipping school, you got to be smart if you skip school because you have to catch.
At least.
You got to catch that. You got to catch that.
Homeroom will get marked absent for the entire day at every period.
Yeah.
So you have to show up to homeroom so you wouldn't get that call.
Right. You got to be smart about how you did it, but we didn't. Yeah,
well, they didn't care.
Yeah, man, that's what I was like. That's why I made principals list an honor roll, but most of the time I didn't make it was because I had ends. I was like, bro, this work is easy. I'm done in 10 minutes, and everybody else asking me to help them.
Yeah. I remember one time I had principal list, whatever. This is on the progress report before the report card came out. I had all A's and I had straight U's and I had like all N's, 2 U's. There was like all U's, 2 N's. My dad, he got on me. But I mean, I just put the sad face on him and he started being mad. But I mean, when you think about it, like as I think about it, like then I'm like, well, I'm doing my work, I'm just talking or whatever. But if I had a child and my child's sitting there talking in the classroom like constantly, and it's like you getting straight A's, 4.0, 3.8 GPAs, you making all N's and U's, that's really terrible, and your ass and get it together. But at least I was doing my work.
So. You can't have. I can understand you can't have multiple. If you had like one end, but I used to have more than one. Oh, I definitely had more than one end. I never had to use.
Older, it died down. Yeah. Like if I got older, like I might have 1 or 2 versus like 7 periods and have like 5 ends and 2 U's. That's like that. Kellye really. Like it was crazy. I had to talk.
I didn't get used that much. I got plenty of ends.
Mr. Thompson gave me a couple of U's before.
But
I feel like he was the only teacher that probably gave me a U. I had N's.
I think Miss. I want to say Miss Park. Did Miss Parker Bradley them? Because I'm a firm believer.
Nobody is not getting the N or U in Miss Parker class because she ain't finna tolerate that.
But Miss Parker Bradley, she didn't.
Cause she was yanking on somebody's arm and
She
having to
what?
get out
Well,
of
Miss
class.
Parker was tall. She was tall.
Parker Bradley is not playing that.
She was.
She's not even gonna tolerate an N or U behavior in her class.
Right. I was like, she is tall though. And I looked at her, I was like, and then I hated it because she was always comparing me to Mike. She's like, your brother was so quiet and all this. I was like, Negro, I know this. I live with him. Yeah. Mike would have all A's, all E's. So he would never talk. And to this day, he the same person he is now that he was back then. He don't talk to a lot of people. So I was like, man, I used to get N's. I didn't. But then I felt like after elementary school, conduct is pointless.
I mean, if you think about it, conduct
it's pointless.
It's a part of your character and how you carry yourself throughout the day. I mean, it's somewhat important, but like it doesn't matter. Like for us, it's on your transcript when you go to college.
Cause they used to lie like that. They'd be like, all this gonna come in together when you're applying for college. I was like, and then you get older, he was like, no, it's not. It's straight. It's
lie. Being in college to me, like being. Well, I mean, I know we're still in middle school, but it's kind of getting.
We're going back and forth, so it's all good.
So, I mean, like in high school, they would always say, like, when you get to college, it's gonna be a rude awakening and da da da. I mean, honestly, when I was for me, college was super easy. Or whatever. And I maybe too is because when you major in something, you major in something that you have interest in, so something that you're potentially like good at, that could be one thing. But also too, like, oh, your teacher's not gonna play. Teacher will extend deadlines. I mean, I did have some times where I missed an assignment. It was like, well, it is what it is, you go by the syllabus. But that was really rare. And I had teachers that would like cancel class the day of, or the teacher be like, you know what, I'm tired, go home.
You talking about, man, I was like,
I feel like I was over prepared for college, which is a good thing.
I made college hard. College wasn't hard. I made college hard.
Procrastinating.
Yes, and I didn't take it serious. If I go back and look at my college career, I could easily graduate with 3.5 and nothing. I graduated with like a 2.5. Only because I didn't, I mean, after a while, the degree I was in too, I didn't want to stay in that degree anymore. And so your interests lose. The really hardest subject I had when I was in school was science. Science was hard. I'm talking about across the board. All the science classes was hard.
I think I don't. When I was in college, I think I had 1 or 2 science classes.
My whole degree was science.
Originally, I wanted to major in something that was science related, and then when I got in there, I'm like, Kellye, you hate science, you hate math, and you know why are you trying to major in something that you hate? So I was like, shh. I didn't even know how I passed my science class, but I did because it was hard.
What it is. Like English and science is my 2 favorite. I hate math, don't like history. Well, the only reason I don't like history is I don't want you to force history on me. Mm-hmm. I want to learn history on my own.
I feel like as I got older, I have a better appreciation for history.
Yeah, but I like to research it on my own. Then when we got older, we already knew half of the stuff they were teaching us was lies anyway.
That's true.
Christopher Columbus discovered America. I was like, bruh, this man came over here and stole something. That man didn't discover nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
So once I figured that out,
English.
I loved English.
I can write papers all day. That don't bother me. Like teacher be like, you can either do an exam or a paper. Give me the paper. I'll write that in a heartbeat. Like I would put off and procrastinate like on my papers and stuff like that all the time, but I could write a paper so fast and I just love writing. Now, my freshman year of college, I did mess up one time because I took 24 hours. Well, I had to do in 24 hours, I waited, like I procrastinated it. And I had a 12-page paper due, a 10-page, 5, and 2. I had to do all that in 24 hours. I actually had a breakdown because I cried and called my mom and my dad. I was crying about it, but it was my fault. But however, the lowest out of all those 4 papers, the lowest grade I had on all 4 of my papers were a 98. Right. But I'm like super good at like writing and English and grammar and all that stuff. So it took me a while to do them because I mean it's 12, 10, 5, and 2. I don't even know math, but I know that's like over 30 pages.
It's about 30 pages. This is like right on the dot. 29.
12, 10. 29. That's 22 plus 5, 27, plus 2, 29. So yeah,
Yep.
about 29, 30 pages or
Pages,
whatever.
yep.
My math off. I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah. So I mean, it took me a little minute, but like I said, my lowest grade was a 98, so I wasn't tripping. However, that was my last time doing like a procrastination
Oh
period.
yeah, but I used to do that all the time. My senior paper, because I had to switch my degree at the last minute. I know we hopping back and forth, but I'm gonna go back after this. We cause my girlfriend, she was like, when I wrote the paper, she was like, don't like procrastinate something like that. It was due at like 7 o'clock on Sunday. Turned it in like midnight on Saturday or something like that. I turned it in like a couple of hours before or something like that. And I was like, I know how to finesse papers and stuff like that. I just know how to write. So I don't know how to finesse. Man, it's out of 150 points. I got 135 out of 150 points. I got an A on the paper. She was like, how do you finesse? I was like, papers is the easiest thing for me to finesse.
Yeah, it's easy to paper.
It's easy. All of it. I was like, and then like you
You
supposed
gotta
to
add
have,
in there
huh?
because you gotta add sources that can take up a whole. They can take up like half of a page.
Right. And then I didn't even use the actual source. What I would do is I would take the title of the source and write based off of that. I wouldn't even read the source. I'll just take off that and write a half a page worth of that, and it went through. So I was like, the only thing they was like, your structure was good. The thesis, it was like just you have a couple of grammatical errors that you need to correct. I was like, okay, that's small stuff. I can switch up. But the papers, Miss Hope, Miss Hope, the only one she crossed out for capstone. She crossed out 4 pages.
The red little marker pencil thing and be Xing out there. So I'm like, that ain't good. Why you
She
doing that
took out 4 full pages of my capstone. I had 13 pages.
Like, you don't need this. Redo it.
She just put a line. She didn't put an X. She just line. Boom. Turn the page. Line. I was like, so do I gotta go back and add more? She was like, no, you can keep that 9. I said, you sure? She was like, yeah. I was like, bet.
Funny too, because she will always like she'll read your paper, but she used to read it so fast. I mean, you really reading my paper? You remember how fast she used to read?
And then when you talk to her, you be like, nah, she read them papers.
Yeah, she did read it. She would read so fast.
But
she'd be like,
whew, the crazy thing is, we heard about Miss Donald. I mean, I said Miss Donald. I heard about Miss Hope in middle school. I was at middle school.
yeah. They were like, it's a teacher when you get to high school, and I Miss Hope. She gonna be so hard. But I'm telling you, I feel like everybody made her seem like the hardest and like teacher ever. But she was challenging,
Yeah.
but it wasn't nothing that like someone couldn't do.
Right.
However, I feel like I said, like she was one of my teachers that I feel like that prepared me very well. Like
college
English. However, when I got to college, I was
college English was nothing like what she
the first English I had to take, like because I think with your gen eds, I think like at MTSU English 101 or whatever. That was a freaking breeze. And then I had a literature, a breeze. And did I have another English after that?
Yeah, I had
another English. I forgot what it was called.
We had 2 Englishes you had to take. It was English 110 and English 120. That's what the 2 we had to take. And I got a B out of one and got a C out the other. I got a C out the other because I missed the deadline that was worth 50 points. And I missed it. So that knocked my grade. But I had one bad semester my freshman year, spring 14. I had a terrible semester. I had 1 A, 2 C's, and 2 D's. I had a terrible semester. But I was sick. It was a lot going on that semester to where I couldn't just recover. So I had to just.
I mean, that's part of college. Like sometimes things happen, personal, family, whatever.
Middle school was cool. Miss Shirley, like I said, 6th grade was cool. 7th, 8th grade, but like I said, it was 6th grade. And he had 6 red, 6 white, 6 blue.
But the green team.
Oh yeah, 6 red used to be
A red now. A red used to be really turned.
Yeah,
A red was off the chain.
Yeah, A red.
I think it was 7 blue was off the chain, but yeah. A red turned. But my favorite year out of middle school was 8th grade. I had the most fun in 8th grade.
What year did I have the most fun? I loved 6th grade because being introduced to how some of the older kids acted, because I remember used to go to the concession stand after school and talking to some of the older kids, because some of the older kids knew me because of Mike, and then they was just like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" and all that stuff, and then go to the dances. And when I get to the dances, I see how they acting up in there. I was like, "Oh, this how y'all get down in middle school." Of course, we liked it, but I was like, cause coming from sock cups to that, that's a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
That was fun. That was
My favorite year. I had fun in eighth grade. I don't know because it was like eighth grade. You're like the senior of the school. I just had fun. Like eighth grade was super fun. And of course, like cheering in middle school. Coach Price. I love Coach Price. Um, that was like
yeah,
it was
Coach.
super fun to like do all that and like be active and like other like organizations and stuff. But middle school was super fun. And eighth grade was my favorite year. I remember seventh grade, I ripped my hamstring from cheering, and I
I
was on crutches.
I
Yeah, I
remember.
was on crutches for 3 months, and I was on like physical therapy for like 2 of those 3 months or whatever. That sucked because I remember we did a halftime performance, and a parent told us to go back out there and do it again because we weren't like showing enough spirit. And I went back out there, and I threw a toe touch again, and I remember my right leg jerking in the air, like literally like trembling just like this, and it locked on me and I was like standing still and I was still like doing the chair, but I was just like in one spot. And I remember telling Claudia and them, I was like, I told Claudia, Amber, and Chelsea, I said, my leg, I think I broke my leg. It was like, girl, you play too much. Like they did not believe me because I joke a lot. So I was like jumping off, like hopping off the court. And then when I got to the side, I collapsed. And Coach Wilkinson came out or whatever, and they called my mom. My dad was at work. And he came to the hospital or whatever. They called my mom and my brother. They came to get me and they got me and took me out and I ripped my hamstring. But the seventh grade was most memorable. Eighth grade was the funnest.
I do remember that. I do remember you. Yeah, hurting.
That was terrible. And my dad did not want me to cheer and do gymnastics no more. And I was crying about it. My mom was like, she'll be okay if she wants to do it. She feel comfortable. But I mean, of course, like I healed. It took time, but I mean, I cheered from 4 more years after that, so I was straight.
Right, and then who else? Yeah, and then the principals. Oh, Miss Boyd. Miss Boyd was our middle school principal.
I like Miss Boyd.
Miss Boyd was a hit or miss. One day she's the best. The next day I was like, bruh, you bipolar.
Boy, she was nice to me.
She was bipolar. Then we had Mr. Simmons.
I remember Mr. Simmons. I think he was the 6th or 7th grade administrator.
He was a 6, I think. Then you had Miss Harshfield, Mr. Harshfield.
Yeah, I remember her.
Mr. Harshfield, and it was somebody else.
Miss Hatterberg.
But who?
It was like Hatterberg, Miss Hatter.
Miss Hannah. I know you're talking about Miss. Yeah. It was one of them, and I couldn't. Miss Boyd was cool because Miss Boyd remember she knew all the optional students. She knew all of us by name, so she was like she kept tabs on us like what y'all doing. And then that's when me, Leonard, Stokes, all of us was rolled together, and it was fun. But yeah, I think my favorite year sixth grade, like seventh grade was cool, but seventh grade just kind of breezed by. And
Coach Hannon was another cool teacher too.
who?
Coach Hannon.
Oh yeah, Coach Hannon was cool. Knew Coach Hannon for a long time, and of course I played for Coach Moore my 8th grade year. Coach Moore.
I forgot Coach Moore. Yeah, he was middle school.
Coach Moore was the best. Coach Moore was the best. I love Coach Moore too. Yeah, Coach Moore was the best. Then I remember we had Mr. What's the name for band? Forgot his name.
No, that's not his name.
I forgot his name, Mr. Man, I forgot that man's name. But I remember, and then we took the typing class with Miss Hintz.
Miss Hintz, yeah, I love Miss Hintz. Miss Hintz plays.
Miss Hintz was cool. And then, but that was just that. In 7th grade, had Miss Johnson. Yeah, Miss Johnson was so clueless.
I love Miss Johnson. I still talk to her.
Miss Johnson was so clueless, but I could tell Miss Johnson was that college student that got out and was teaching.
Because she was so young.
Yeah, she was
still younger. She's still young, but yeah, she was like, because she probably was like when she taught us, she was probably like in the beginning of her probably college, like right after college, went straight into
Yeah,
middle
she was in her mid-20s, I think. She was like 24,
school.
25.
She was so sweet and cool. She was one of my favorite teachers too in middle school.
Oh
I
yeah,
love.
I remember they took her phone.
Oh yeah, Martina and them.
We took their phone. I'm talking about took her bell when she brought that dumbass bell into
Oh,
the
that was
class.
Miss Walker's bell.
I thought that was Miss Johnson had a bell too.
Oh they taped Miss Johnson bell so when she shook it, it couldn't ring.
It couldn't do that.
She started laughing. She thought because she knew that was hilarious.
Cause we hated that bell. It was like, bro, simmer down. It was like, bro, you gonna have to chill with this bell. That shit was. We used to be playing our Nintendo. I remember me and Devin, we were playing with our Nintendo DS in the corner.
With the book.
With the book up, playing Mario Kart in that thing racing. We didn't care because that's why I was with. Because I was rolling with Justin too.
Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah.
That was my guy for real. When I saw him when I got older, I was like, this then grew. He was like 6'2". He like 6'2".
You go to Wooddale High School with us or no?
Nah, he went to Carver.
Okay. I remember him from middle school, but
Yeah, that's when Elder Reed, my boy Elder Reed. It was fun times. It was fun times elementary school. I mean, I said elementary, middle school. It was fun times. The dances was cool. The field trip. I remember when we went to Casey Jones and Jackson.
Oh my gosh. I remember I ate so much candy that day. I was like so hyper because I got in trouble on the bus because we went to Alex Haley's house.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I got in trouble because I was just doing a lot. I ate so much candy that day. Like I had a bad sugar rush. And I remember I got in trouble for like, I was just doing too much.
And I was like, I wonder how far this thing is. Because we was on the bus. I was like, bro, we on the bus for a long time. Then when I get older and when I started driving, I was like, nigga, we went to Jackson.
Yeah, it felt like a long time. Do you remember we went to the Space Center in Huntsville with Mr. Thompson?
We went in 8th grade too?
I can't remember if it was 7 or 8. I just know we went.
We went in middle school too? I don't remember.
We got on that little thing that you put your back on the wall and you can't move up.
I remember going to high school.
I remember going to Mr. Thompson. I didn't go in high school. I don't remember going to high school.
I went to high school because that was when Mr. Sherlock, Mr. Holmes, and Miss Shipman, like those type of classes, they had the opportunity to go to Huntsville.
Doing that in high school.
I went because I was chilling with Marco and David and them. That's what I was chilling with. But yeah, it was a mixture of folks. So we went over there. But yeah, I think I do remember going to the space station in middle school too.
That's fun. And I remember eating the space ice cream. It tastes like fun. Like styrofoam.
It was.
It was fun.
And then
now.
And then playing football 8th grade year, and then basketball we was turned. It was woo, man. Middle school was fun. When we played American Way, everybody wanted to come out to American Way.
American Way used to be like my favorite school to like cheer at and like go to games.
It was deep.
We used to have red, white, blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's why I'm with Alex and them, and they hooping, and it's just we did a lot that year. Yeah. It was cool. I loved it. And 8th grade graduation and all that stuff happened. Really didn't get into a lot of skipping school and stuff in middle school, but boy, when I got to high school, that thing switched.
I just necessarily skip. We were just, I don't know, I feel like we got back with a lot, so we didn't have to be in class. Like we were never in class. We were in class, and we were never in class.
No, we always had an excuse to get out.
And they just be walking around like wet. I remember too. I used to like sign off on hall pass and stuff because you remember I had like the best penmanship in cursive. I do like 4 people's signatures, huh?
Yes, we
4 people parent signatures on like field trip permission slips and like detention notices, all types of stuff. Oh, sorry y'all, but I used to always do that.
Doing that, I would get the principal y'all number. I remember how whenever they was like, I'm gonna call your parents, and I was like, all right, give them one of y'all number. Y'all, I did that to a couple people. I was like, they gonna talk to the class. Boom, I'm in the clear. I was like, because they used to always just go to the file. I was like, this ain't my mama number no more. This is her number.